Nothing in there, so it gets dropped out the way. Old frame, very little on there, of no interest. Quite a bit of nectar and pollen in the centre. Not so much going on the other side. With that frame, I'm just going to turn it round because there's more space on one side than the other. You may find brood on the next frame.
Oh yeah.
And we do. Now the thing we were thinking about with this colony is we were seeing quite a lot of drone brood. And it was early in the season, but is that an issue or is that just its way? There's a little queen cup there. There's nothing in it. So drone on that side, drone on that side, and another little queen cup there. Now if the queen isn't as well mated as she might be, and she is laying more drone, that might be a trigger for this colony to get restless, because she won't be giving out as much of the queen substance pheromone as they would ideally like.
Do you know how old the queen is?
She's last year, she's green, so she should be okay, but the back end of a season, depending on when she was mated, you're never quite sure, because they're often, a new queen will often lay quite prolifically, but it's always kind of about this time of year before you're starting to get a real idea of what last year's queens are like.
So there's plenty of brood on frame 3. So
Yep.
3, 4.
Okay, so we've got some more queen cups. There's the queen.
Oh.
And her mark's alright actually.
Yeah.
I won't need to remark her today. And she's going to try and do a runner. Oh no, actually interested. Maybe I should do a runner over the edge there, but she's headed back to the middle. Nice big, long, kind of physically looks fine. Sometimes when you've got weaker queens, they physically don't look.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So second frame brood.
So drone on frames 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's the proportion really, and sort of just we'll look at kind of it overall, and it may be that she just, for whatever reason, laid a patch of drone, or the frames she had available had quite a lot of drone cells on them. So I'm not going to write her off yet, but it's just kind of, I noticed, so keep an eye on it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, who have I trapped? So we know they've got plenty of food, we've seen the queen, she's laying, and no obvious health problems. So this is looking, smaller than some colonies, bigger than others. A few queen cups, which we'll need to keep an eye on. Just keep an eye on whether that drone sort of balances out.
Yeah.
Again, a bit more drone. Another queen cup there. And that queen cup had an egg in it, I think. Oh no, it's just the way the light's catching the reflection. Yeah. Indeed. So eggs in there are part of it as well, so that's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Shortcut. The trouble with comb is that you try and chuck away the older stuff after about 3 years.
Yeah.
But trying to get new stuff, the advantages sometimes of this time of year are very little going on there, a little bit of nectar, nothing that side. And the other outer 2 frames are likely to be almost completely. Actually, there's some stored honey from last season in those. So, what you can hope this time of year, I've just sort of seen it up in Northumberland, is that there's quite a lot of oilseed rape. Now the honey from that is quite a good early crop, but it granulates really quickly.
Yes.
And it's not the most popular crop to sell because people like a nice golden runny honey, not but what you can do is if you've got frames of foundation, you put those onto colonies when they're when they found oilseed rape.
Yeah.
They draw the foundation out really well.
Right.
And quite quickly.
So quite deep combs.
It's just it just makes they've just suddenly got this massive great food supply.
Yeah.
And it's often about the right time of year for them when there's bees because it's only bees of a certain age that will do the comb drawing. And so suddenly you can kind of get a load of comb drawn, which is what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Up there at the moment. Whether it works or not is going to be a bit about the weather.
You
So
said
there's a
that
bit of
super's
weight
a bit
in
heavier.
there.
Yeah.
So what you can do sometimes is, I don't know if we've done this already, feels like we might have done this already, sometimes you can look at the outer frames, and if the inner frames are full,
So you're checking weights there.
just checking the weights, don't need to lift them by much to tell the weight. Excuse me. And sometimes they get a bit all stuck together. But I think I've done this last week by the looks of it. I've moved some of the emptier frames into the middle.
Yeah.
So this may need a second super, but I suspect it might not need it till next week.
Yeah.
But it's at a point where it will need one sooner. But you don't want to give them too much space too early.
No. So I guess
it's a balance, it's a judgment
They fill
time.
it equally, do they? If you gave them 2 empty supers too soon.
They tend to store to the top first.
Right, okay.
And they tend to work a bit like a chimney.
Yeah.
So moving the outer frames into the middle means you can get a super that's nice and evenly drawn.
Yeah.
If you put a super of foundation on, as opposed to drawn comb, it's often better to put it on the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's warmer there, it's nearer the brood patch,
Right.
and they're more likely to draw it out if you put it up the top. It's they're less likely to be active on it.
Right.
So that, once you've made some notes, so we saw the queen today, which is good, and she's marked green, which means she's 19, because I haven't seen her all season so far. We saw probably about 8 cups, which needs watching.
Yeah.
Brood was again on about 5+, so it's grown slightly. Fine for temperament, temperature's the same. 1 super, might make a note. Does it need a second super?
Yeah.
Might do. Space about 3 frames. Stores are good, and the health look fine. So the only thing that we need to think about is just watch that drones and just think about whether next time it might need a second super on it. And hopefully that means that when you turn up next time, you've got the right stuff in the car. Rather than sitting at home, kind of where you go, it's all right here, but when it's 20 miles away up in Northumberland, that's a bit of a ball.
A long way to go. Thank you.